All right, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, it is Sunday. It's 6 o'clock. Y'all know what time it is. I'm your girl, your best friend, your next door neighbor, the one and only Natasha Cash.
And I'm T Dub in the building.
And we are super excited that you have decided to join us today. We have a fantastic guest that's going to be on the show. Dr. John is here with us, and he's going to be teaching us some lifestyle changes, some things that we can do, some things that we can learn about diabetes, surviving cancer, obesity. He's written many books, and he is an amazing author and physician. So we are super excited to have him on the show. Y'all know how we do it. As always, we welcome our guests. We're super excited about what we're here to talk about, and we want to make sure you chime in. So participate in the conversation. Ask all the questions you need to ask because Dr. John is here to share and enlighten us and give us some insight on our health. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, please, please help me welcome Dr. John to the show. Woohoo! Welcome, Dr. John. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on our Beyond the Chat podcast. We're super excited to have you here. How are you doing today?
Natasha, I'm doing fine, and I thank you for having me, and I thank our audience for joining us.
Absolutely. I appreciate you taking out time today on a Sunday to be with us. It is so exciting. We want you to be able to share and just, answer some questions, maybe give some advice on different things about health, because we know that, health is very important. And just having that knowledge and that expertise that you have and you're able to bring to the table, we know that our audience members will be educated and enlightened. So can you just tell us about a little bit of your history, like, about medicine and how this all came about?
Well, I did my medical training in India. I went to Scotland to do a year of internship. I came to the United States in 1970, did residency and fellowship. I practiced in the state of Texas for over 35 years.
Okay.
I'm both certified in pediatrics and in allergy and immunology. During my practice, I became interested in obesity, type 2 diabetes, and later on, cancer.
Okay. So can you tell me, like, what are the some of the leading causes? I know when it comes to like obesity, obviously weight, but can you just help us get a clearer understanding of what extra weight does to your health, your bones, all that good stuff?
The first thing is, how do you know you have extra weight? The
Okay.
standard weight table did from history by insurance company, Metropolitan Insurance Company, based on self-reported weight and height, and they looked at who lived longest and
Ah,
decided that is their ideal weight for that age and sex person.
okay.
It was not based on examination of thousands of people.
Understood.
Then it did not work. If somebody has, I had two patients, both weighed 300 pounds. So they both came to me and asked me, their family doctor was telling them, both of them, to lose weight. So they wanted my opinion. So I
Okay.
asked the first person, how is your blood pressure? Normal. How is your fasting blood sugar? Normal. How is your cholesterol? Normal. Do you have
Mm-hmm.
any joint issues? No. I said, you are cosmetically obese, but not medically obese.
Ah, okay.
The second person was already on three different medications to control blood sugar. I saw, I told that person he is both cosmetically and medically obese. So, what is the difference? As after age 35, most of your weight gain is from deposition of fat, unless you do resistance training for a bodybuilder. Now, that fat you have a designed or predetermined amount of fat storage capacity that you inherit from your parents.
Okay.
If that fat storage capacity is filled up, the excess food will stay in the blood as fatty acid, fat and fatty acid. Our muscles are like a hybrid engine of a car. It can use glucose or fatty acid to produce energy. If there is plenty of fatty acid, it will automatically switch to fatty acid, leaving glucose in the system,
Ah.
and the blood glucose level goes up, and you are called a pre-diabetic and a diabetic.
Wow. Okay.
Now, let me give you an example.
Okay.
Let's take a young lady, pregnant, no family history of diabetes, no previous history of diabetics. At the end of second trimester, she is told she has gestational diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
How does that happen? She has no history of diabetes, no family history, so it is not a genetic.
Right.
The, the current medical literature has no explanation. They think something came from the placenta to produce what is called insulin resistance.
Uh-huh. Okay.
By the way, that has never been proven.
Hmm.
The insulin resistance is a concept that was hypothesized by endocrinologists, but has never been proven. There, there's no test for insulin resistance.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of a test?
Never.
The degree of insulin resistance, whether you had diabetes for 10 years, 15 years, or you have complications, how do you know whether insulin resistance is getting worse
Right.
without a test?
That's true. I mean, that makes sense.
Now, let us go back to the young pregnant woman. When she's pregnant, everybody's telling her, oh, this food is good for the baby's complexion. This food is good for the baby's bone. This is for the brain. This is for the skin. And she eats and eats. She fills up her fat storage capacity. The fatty acid stays in the blood. Her muscles use fatty acid. Her glucose stays in the blood. She is gestationally diabetic.
Wow.
The same theory can be applied to a lean person. In the United States, 85% of type 2 diabetic people are obese or overweight.
Mm-hmm.
In India, 60% of type 2 diabetes people are normal weight or very little weight gain.
Wow.
But my hypothesis will fit both because in India, for generations, people have been lean.
True.
So if they eat a lot more than they can store, same thing happens.
Wow. So
Does that
so
make sense to you?
that does make sense. So Dr. John, so can you give us some suggestions? What are some of the things or some of the signs that our audience members can look out for, or maybe some lifestyle changes that we can make? Because sometimes it's hard. There's so much good food out there. There's so much. So many people are working 2 and 3 jobs. It's hard to fit exercise in there. So what can we do to start to take those baby steps to make those lifestyle changes to better health?
Well, you're asking a number of questions here. One, there is good food. Then you said about weight.
Yes.
And so, where do you want? Let me start from the beginning.
Okay.
If you look in nature, is there any food groups that you can get as an adult nutrients from without chewing?
Mm. Without chewing?
Without chewing.
I don't think so. What, a juice smoothie?
Except unless you think of honey, everything requires chewing.
Okay.
Why? Why did nature package everything in a way where you have to chew the food?
To work your muscles.
Is it psychological?
What a psychology got the baby needing to chew the food?
Yeah.
So you chew, then the baby learns to chew as well.
Right.
Every baby, when they are born, there are 2 things they can do but very good. One is sucking, the other is crying. They get all their needs met just doing that.
Wow.
As a toddler, you will observe 3 things. The toddler will eat eat only when they are hungry or he is hungry.
Okay.
Second, he or she will choose what he or she wants.
Okay.
And when they are done, they could care less whether the plate is empty or not. They will go out and play.
That's true. Yeah.
So they decide when to eat, what to eat, how much to eat. They grow up normally.
Got it.
We all did that at that age.
Right.
So what changed?
I don't know.
One
More.
thing, by at about age 6 or 7, they started listening to their parents.
Mhm.
Ah. Okay.
who,
Okay.
who tell them, clean the plate. We
Right.
don't have time to stop.
Yeah.
We are
Yes.
on the way. If you
Yes.
finish this, I'll give you the dessert.
Yes.
We've all heard that. Yes.
More
We
from.
we are disconnecting their natural control mechanisms.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense.
Secondly, how much can you chew rice?
Hmm.
How
Ah.
much can you chew bread? How much can you chew pasta, noodles, cakes, cupcakes? You
Yeah.
give things that does not require chewing. The moment you stop chewing, you swallow.
Hmm.
Got it.
This is my in my first book, I wrote eat, chew, live.
Live. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because the chewing is the most important missing part in the
Yeah.
modern day. How you eat. On the top banner line is how you eat matters more than what you eat.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
So, one hand, you eat things that does not require chewing. Second, let me back up a little bit. Thank you.
Yes.
When you are thirsty, can you predetermine the amount of water you need to quench your thirst?
No.
Can you?
No.
No. How long will it take for you to drink to quench your thirst?
Oh,
Minutes?
sometimes I
Right?
can drink a whole bottle before I feel fulfilled.
But how long will it take?
Hmm.
For your mind to realize
Oh,
you're.
I don't know. That's a good question.
More, the quantity varies, the time it takes varies. Most of the time, it takes a few minutes. Your thirst is quenched, right?
Right. Yeah.
Do you drink enough to fill up your stomach?
No.
No.
No. You stop way before. But how did the brain know you had enough?
Hmm.
Isn't there something that's like um your brain, it takes 15 minutes or something for your brain to realize that you're full?
That depends on what you are looking for.
Hmm.
See,
Ah.
when you drink water, do
Yeah.
you drink for 15 minutes?
Hmm.
No.
No. Do you drink until your stomach feels full?
Just about, maybe.
No. You think you can. How much the volume, the capacity of the stomach is 1 liter. Do you drink a liter each time you drink
Oh,
Oh
water?
no.
no. No, no, no.
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 Sometimes you drink 4 ounces, sometimes 8, sometimes 12, depending
Right.
on your condition.
Right.
So you match your deficit
Ah.
as you are taking in. So how does the brain know this is
Hmm.
all you need right now?
Hmm.
Wow, that's a good question. I don't know.
If I blindfold you and give you something to drink, you
Hmm.
will know immediately whether it is beer or water or milk or soda. How?
Your taste buds.
Taste buds. What I'm suggesting in this book is your taste buds are not only detecting but also monitoring how much is going down.
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Okay.
When the intake matches the deficit, because your control center already knows how much is missing.
Okay.
When it matches the deficit, it says, okay, we had enough.
Hmm.
There is a similar mechanism for each and every nutrient.
Okay.
In order to release that nutrient in the mouth so that the taste buds can detect it, you need to chew the food.
Chew the food. Understood. So eat, chew, live.
Yeah,
Got it.
hmm,
Eat, chew, live. Okay.
correct. Right.
So Can we talk about a little bit of? I know you talk about surviving cancer. Can we talk
Right.
about surviving cancer? Like, what are some of the? How can you? What can you tell us about surviving cancer?
Well, let me tell you why I wrote that book.
Okay.
About 14 years ago, my doctor called me one time and said, John, there's a problem with your blood test.
Uh
You
huh.
need to go and see a cancer specialist. My life just stopped there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I went to the doctor and he did some tests, and sure enough, I thought it may be a mistake. No, I was diagnosed with cancer.
Mm.
I had to go through a treatment. He said he doesn't know whether I have any treatment available, whether it will
Right.
work, all
Yeah.
these usual complications.
Yeah.
Okay, I survived that. Then I asked the doctor, why did I get the cancer?
Hmm.
What can I do to prevent it from coming back again?
Mm-hmm.
The doctor said, okay, check the American Cancer Society website. And I did. And they said it is improper diet and lack of exercise.
Mm.
When I went to India, I asked an oncologist there because when I was medical student, there were no cancer ward, let alone a cancer hospital.
Mm.
Hmm.
Now they have two 8-story buildings, one for children with cancer, one for adults with cancer.
Hmm.
Wow.
So I asked them, why? They said, oh, improper diet and lack of exercise.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to South America, you ask the question, you get the same answer. And from Africa, from Europe, from England, from Australia, everybody says improper diet and lack of exercise.
Okay.
How can the diet be improper all around the world?
That's a good question.
The increasing number of young people are getting cancer now. Are they all lazy and
Wow.
sitting on the chair?
Right.
Hmm.
That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So, I could stay and live being anxious about every blood test, every time, okay, am I going to get cancer?
Right.
What do I do? I need to know something.
Right.
Otherwise, I can be. See, when you have stress, one of the most important aspect of stress is anticipatory. We think about this, we think about that, we think about the other thing, what can go wrong, and there is no end to it. So I can be stressed all my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, let me find out a little bit more because most of our stress comes from things we don't know.
That's true.
The more you know, the less stressed you are
Mm-hmm.
because then you can make a plan. Then you can wait for the plan to, find out the result before you get stressed out again.
Right.
So
And
I started from the beginning. What is cancer?
mm-hmm.
Cancer is uncontrolled multiplication of cells,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
So, how the best way to understand this is to understand controlled multiplication.
Okay.
Now, every cancer starts with one cell, mother cell called stem cell,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
and it keeps on dividing. You have cancer.
Okay.
Now, what is the best example of controlled multiplication from one cell? Can you think of one?
The best controlled multiplication of one cell,
Yeah.
controlling it. I don't know, starving
Okay.
it, cutting
When
it
when
out.
when you, when you look in the mirror, what do you
Yeah.
see?
My face.
You see yourself.
Yes.
Every person is the product of one cell.
Okay.
What is that cell? That cell is formed when the sperm fertilizes the ovum.
Yeah.
It is called a zygote. Do
Okay.
you know where that fertilization takes place? It does not take place in the womb. It takes place in the fallopian tube as the ovum is rolling down from the ovary.
Okay.
after fertilization, it's a 6-day journey to the womb.
Okay.
By that time, that one cell has multiplied into 200 cells.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That is called controlled multiplication.
Okay.
And once it is implanted in the womb, these 200 cells become stem cell for each organ or system in the body.
Wow.
And they produce only enough cells to produce a kidney or a heart or a thyroid or a muscle or bone, whatever. Now,
Understood.
when you get a cut, you have new cells forming from the mother cell called stem cell residing at the base of the skin.
Mm-hmm.
When the wound is healed, it stops multiplication.
That makes
If
sense.
if it doesn't stop, what do you have? You have cancer.
Oh, got it.
So
Okay.
now I'm going to ask you the critical question. Do you know when you have the maximum number of cancer cells in your body?
No.
Before you are born.
Oh, wow.
When you are in your mother's womb, think about it. Who is producing the new cells? They are all novices. They have never done it before.
Right.
If you get a bunch of people from the street and ask them to construct a house, they are going to make mistakes.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
True. Yes.
Each cell, when it divides, it duplicates 20,000, 25,000 genes for each baby cell.
Wow.
So there are a lot of gene mutations going on
Right.
when a new baby is being formed. But nature knows that. Nature has provided us with the immune system that can kill 99% of the mutated cells before the baby is born.
Wow. So how do we tap into that? Because I feel like, if we aren't, physicians that do the research and go to school and learn all this stuff, I know we can maybe read a book and find out on our own, but for someone that doesn't know where to start or how to gather this information, how do we begin to learn how to deal with something like that?
First of all, that's an excellent question, because if you are born with an immune system capable of killing
Mm-hmm.
the cancer cells,
Mm-hmm.
why do we have cancer?
Right.
There are one of two reasons. One, either your immune system is weak, but if that is the case, most people should have other problems like infections.
Right.
Most cancer people don't have infections before
Right.
they start having cancer.
Mm-hmm.
The second possibility is that these cancer cells are multiplying at a rate faster than the immune system can take care of.
Got it. Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Our immune system is consisting of white cells. There is a special branch of white cells called natural killer cells.
Okay.
They go around the body, look for cancer cells, and kill them.
Mm.
But if the cancer cells are multiplying faster, then the immune system has a problem.
Has a problem because it can't keep up.
Exactly.
Understood. Okay.
So the cancer cell, first of all, it looks just like a regular cell.
Mm-hmm.
It uses the same nutrients to construct. The materials are the same.
Right.
It uses energy same as a normal cell.
Mm-hmm.
So they are very tricky because initially the immune system cannot identify them.
Okay.
Okay. So I mentioned earlier, muscles are like a hybrid engine. It uses either fatty acid or glucose.
Right.
But cancer cells are very peculiar. They are very particular about using where the energy is coming from. They
Mm-hmm.
use only or primarily glucose.
Okay.
This is why people who have type 2 diabetes has a 50% higher chance of having pancreatic cancer, liver cancer, colon cancer, endometrial cancer,
Wow.
and all other cancers.
Wow. Wow.
Why? because they are feeding the cancer cell with plenty of energy in the form of glucose.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
suppose we starve them of their energy,
Hmm.
then they will slow down.
Right.
Then the immune cells. So on the one hand, you need to slow down feeding the cancer cell. On the other hand, you have to boost your immune system.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. That makes
So
sense.
that is the message in my book, Surviving Cancer.
Yes. Okay.
Most of the glucose comes from the grain and grain flour foods.
Mm-hmm. All of my favorites.
Right. 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 Let me tell you this story. When Native Americans were brought to the reservations in the year 1900,
Yeah.
they had complete physical examination,
Okay.
and three things they did not have: type 2 diabetes, obesity, and cancer.
Okay.
The Royal College sent a team of expert physicians to find out why don't they have cancer,
Right.
and they could not find a reason. They said they are naturally immune to cancer.
Wow.
Hmm.
But now they have a higher percentage of cancer compared to local population.
Hmm.
So what changed?
Hmm.
Processed
And,
foods.
and what is the major change in their food? You are right, but what type?
Sugar.
No. By the
Chemical.
way,
Oh.
the table sugar has nothing to do with diabetes or cancer.
Okay. But I
Most
heard you say
people,
something
when they
about
are
glucose.
the moment they are diagnosed, they stop eating table sugar.
Mm-hmm.
That is not the source of blood sugar. Blood sugar
Okay.
is glucose, table sugar is sucrose. They are two different
Two different
molecules.
things. Okay.
The only connection is the name.
Right.
Okay.
That that allows some people to sell artificial sweeteners,
Hmm.
but because you get scared.
Hmm.
Right.
Now, going back to the difference in the diet of Native Americans, in their natural environment, they moved from one food source to another.
Mm-hmm.
They ate everything: animals, vegetables, fruits, nuts, fish, fowl. What did they not eat? They did not stay in one place to cultivate grains.
Okay.
They did not eat any cultivated rice or wheat or corn. They ate some wild corn. So in the reservation, what did they get?
No.
Plenty of bread and grain-based foods, almost as much as they can eat.
Right.
Everybody develops cancer cells periodically. That's normal. But if you feed the cancer cell with glucose, they are
Mm-hmm.
going to multiply
Going
faster.
to multiply faster. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Wow. That's
Now,
powerful.
the second part is you have to boost your immune system. Human body needs over 100 different nutrients
Hmm.
for healthy functioning, including the immune system. It is not enough to have a well equipped army of killer cells. They need to
Mm-hmm.
go to the place. They need to have
Right.
signal. They
Right.
need to have communication. They need material. So the whole body has to be healthy.
Right.
So for that, I suggest in this book, you need to eat three different types of vegetables, three different types of fruits, three different types of nuts every day.
Hmm.
Mm.
Every day, huh?
Okay.
The
So
quantity you can determine while you are eating. Your taste buds will tell you if you chew it.
Mhm.
that's very true.
Right.
I like that. That's great
Yeah, then you
information.
can eat your meat or fish or whatever. But
Yeah.
if you add variety, your body can, for example, when you sit down to eat, do you know what your body is looking for?
Hmm.
What
No.
nutrient? You don't know.
No.
So how can anybody else tell you what you should eat at each meal?
Right.
That's very true.
But if the toddlers can do it, why can't you?
Right. That's
So
so
that is why you have to have a variety. You chew the food, eat what your brain tells you, that when you are hungry, that first bite tastes so good.
yes.
In about 5 to 10 minutes, you don't enjoy it as much.
That's true.
Hmm.
Oh,
That is your brain telling you
you've had enough.
you have enough nutrients from that particular food.
Wow.
Hmm.
Okay. That
Now,
makes
do we
sense.
stop?
That makes sense. No, we don't stop.
Exactly.
Try to finish
No,
it.
but
Right.
we go back to what our parents told us: clean your plates.
I was counseling one time 10 white Americans, all overweight. And I
Okay.
told them, I grew up in India, and some days I didn't feel hungry and I didn't know why. Now I know you were eating for me.
That's
There were
good.
starving children in India and
Yeah.
China and
Yeah.
Africa. So eat, finish. I said, you can stop doing that. I am here.
Stop. Yes, that's good. That's awesome. Good. Well, Dr. John, you have shared some very, very powerful information,
Yes.
and we are so blessed to have you on the show to be able to share. This information about diabetes, about surviving cancer, about obesity. And I think it's very important that, we as a society remain educated on these particular topics, in particular, because they are affecting us, all across all cultures. This diabetes and cancer does not discriminate. And, so I think it's very important that we understand the hows and the whys and the do's and don'ts, to keep us healthy. And so we appreciate you for writing the books that you've written, sharing your history, your experience, and teaching us how to survive cancer, how to deal with obesity, and all of the other diseases that are out there. I want to talk particularly about this particular book that's on the screen now. It says, "Your Health is at Risk: How to Navigate Information Chaos to Prevent Lifestyle Diseases." Um, and I want to give you an opportunity to share some information on this particular book, because I found it interesting, because it talks about, type 2 diabetes, obesity, weight gain, cancer, heart disease, all of the major lifestyle diseases that attack, young and old and all cultures. So, what can you say about this particular this book?
The first thing is you have to be in charge of your body.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else knows what's going on in your body better than you do. Yes, you do need doctors and physicians and healthcare providers, but primarily you have to be aware of what's going on in your body.
Yes.
Now, in this age of social communications, you get so much information. How do you know which information is correct?
Right.
How do you know what to do?
Yeah, we
For
don't.
that, you need to understand. So that is why I wrote this book. You have to look at the source. You
Mm-hmm.
have to digest the information, see whether it makes sense to you.
Right.
If it does not make sense, then there is a problem. Only if you clearly, take for example, you get you are a diabetic,
Mm-hmm.
you take an insulin injection or a
Okay.
diabetic medication, your blood sugar goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that sugar go?
I don't know.
It does not go out of the body.
In your gut.
Mm.
So, how does that help you? How does, if you look at all the new medications on diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
do you know what they say? It will bring your blood sugar down. It will not tell you will it stop your kidney from getting damaged.
Wow.
It will not tell you whether it will protect your eyesight
Right.
or prevent Alzheimer's or heart attack or cancer. No. So how can you believe? How can that medication help you if you have the same complication?
Right. I don't know, Dr. John. I don't know.
That is the type of information you
That-
need.
Okay.
That is what I'm writing.
Okay.
COVID came. That is
Yeah.
when I started. people used COVID and used a lot of disinformation. They twisted the information to get something they wanted.
Right.
So the average American, their science education is about 6th to 8th grade level.
Mm-hmm.
Science has gone up so much. There is a gap between what you know and what is the researchers have found out.
Right.
And the social media fills that gap. So you can easily be persuaded to buy this, buy that, do that,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know what is right.
Right.
So you need to have a trusted source. You need to check. You need to understand. If you agree, then you take your step. But you have to be in control.
You have to be in control. I love that. I think that's very important and very profound that you would say that. Because like you said, Dr. John, there's so many, books and websites and doctor's offices and people that, are able to tell you about your health and all this stuff. But I totally agree that we have to be in control of our own health. And like you said, we know what we're feeling. We know what's going on with our bodies. And so we should be in control of what's the research and what we're doing to maybe figure out what's going on with our bodies. So I think that's very important too, and not leaving it all in the hands of a physician or someone else. We have to know what's going on with ourselves as well.
Yes. On our website, I
Mm-hmm.
have information. I don't sell anything. I don't endorse anybody. All you
Okay.
have is information.
Right. Right.
So that's all I am interested in.
Love it.
Awesome.
I love it. That's awesome. Well, this has been extremely enlightening. And we appreciate you being on our show to share and educate us. I've learned a lot. I know TW has learned a lot as well. And we're definitely going to make sure that our listeners and our viewers have your website, are able to purchase your books and support you. But because I believe that there is some very fantastic and wonderful information in all of these books. And thank you for taking the time to write them, to educate us, and to help us through this journey called life. We really appreciate you being on the show.
Natasha CW, I thank you for having me. And when you are sitting down to eat,
Yes.
you eat what you enjoy, but
Yes.
more importantly, enjoy what you eat.
Enjoy what you eat. Yes.
Take
Love it.
time to chew.
Yes.
Don't be distracted don't eat at the same time watching TV, for example.
Yeah. Bad habit.
Your human brain can concentrate only one thing at a time. So if
That
you're
makes sense.
watching TV and eating, your subconscious mind takes over eating part.
Yeah.
And it stops only when you feel full in the stomach.
Wow. But when you
Not
feel full in the stomach, you've been full, right?
exactly. Most of the time, half the food is gone before you know, oh,
Yeah.
no, I'm beginning to enjoy this. Or
Yeah. That's true. I agree. Bad habit. Yeah.
the
Bad habit.
eating and enjoyment of eating is your private pleasure. That
Yes.
is the only enjoyment you can do, have full enjoyment multiple times a day.
Right.
There's nothing else.
Right.
So why don't we enjoy it?
Enjoy it. I love it. Um, so for all of our viewers and our watchers, our listeners out there, Dr. John also has a book that's about, it's called The Diabetes Free Cookbook and Exercise Guide. If you are interested in learning more about obesity, surviving cancer, diabetes, and other health conditions that Dr. John has educated himself on, the books are available on his website, drjohnonhealth.com. Educate yourself. Make sure you are aware of what's going on within your own body so that you can explain and share and figure out what's going on with yourself. Be responsible for your own health and be responsible for your own self. Yeah. Do you want to share something?
No, just listen to your body. It's just talking to you.
Yes. Yes. And so again, Dr. John, we so appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on Beyond the Chat. We will make sure that we share this video over and over again so that people can watch it and learn a lot like we did, learn from you today. Would you like to say something as last words to our audience?
All I can say is thank you for having me,
Yes.
and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. We look forward to having you on the show again. So we'll be in touch.
Yes, Natasha. Thank you.
All
It will
right.
be my
You're
pleasure.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you
care
so
now.
much. Take care.
Bye.
Oh my goodness, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I wish we had a lot more time to learn a lot more. Dr. John is fantastic, and I know he has a lot more to share. So trust me, we will definitely invite him back on the show. We want to pick his brain a little more about his knowledge and everything that he has researched. We know that he has a wealth of knowledge that he can share with us. Learning how to survive cancer, talking about type 2 diabetes, obesity, heart disease, and all that stuff that plagues our cultures, our lives, on a daily basis. And not just, it's not just older people. Younger people are dying from diabetes and heart disease and all that stuff too. And so listen, again, if you are interested in learning more about eating healthy, surviving cancer, obesity, and all the things that we talked about today, please, please, please do us a favor and visit drjohnonhealth.com to learn more about the fantastic research and education that he has provided by means of purchasing one of his books. Again, we're so appreciative that Dr. John has joined us on the show today, and we look forward to having him on the show again. Dr. John, stay in the green room so we can talk to you, so don't leave. But we want to thank all of our viewers and our listeners for participating in our show today. And y'all know, next Sunday at 6 o'clock, we'll be back doing it all over again. I'm your girl, your best friend, your next door neighbor, the one and only Natasha Cash.
And I'm T-Dub in the building.
And this has been a fantastic show. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.